Welcome back, everybody, to Ravenstar's Witching Hour. I'm your host, Solaris BlueRaven. My wonderful guests tonight are Frank Castle and Paula Milo. It's a pleasure to have them on board, and wonderful to talk to you. The first hour just flew by.
That was awesome.
I'm telling you, you were awesome. Both of you were awesome. Like I said, I was just sitting there in awe listening to what you have to say, and it's just so nice because you're so switched on. And it's such a pleasure to hear you talk. What I did want to dive into is you are, in my opinion, one of the masters of ayahuasca. I mean, you really know ayahuasca like nobody's business. And in your opinion, first of all, tell us about ayahuasca itself and the sacred use behind it.
Well, for me, this seems to be lifetimes from the beginning, having this relationship with her, because it was uncovered immediately that this is why I say Neo Shaman, right? So she hit me with this, and when I say she, it's Mother Earth, but your connection is through the ayahuasca. But it's really the oversoul. It's overmother, right? However you want to call it, it's the soul of the planet. She comes directly to you, right? She has a nice conversation with you. You remember who you are. And I'm like, I can't even believe what I'm looking at right now, right? Like people have asked me, like, what do you see, the scary stuff? I'm like, everything is scary the first time, even the good stuff. Even the good stuff. I've never seen any of this. Now I'm broken open. I'm like, I'm pretty in control of myself, because that's about the best I can do, is have control over me, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I drive my machine. No one has a hand on my wheel but me. From that position, I can then be better for everyone else, right? And then we heal, because that was the main objective. We're all broken to the point of you are laying flat in density, as flat as you can be, and as low to the point of losing everything, getting to the point of such self-destructive behavior. It's just ridiculous. Coming out of it through the Aya and her explaining to you why this had to be the timing that it was, right? For those that would deceive, would not understand that we laid the plan over their plan that was understood from a higher realm. And I was just in shock and awe of all this. So she pulled something out of me, repaired it, put it back, and I pretty much knew the whole connection from day one. I've always been a shaman. I've always worked with her. I've always been with the animals, specifically cats, but all animals that I can at the time. One of the beings every lifetime has been with me, been with us. Paula and I have been together. I is like, don't you remember who Paula is? And I'm like, no, she's great though. We went under together, and she's like, that's been your wife, like, all the time. I saw some other stuff where I was the wife. Then like I saw the flip, because it is the flip. And then I saw the great deception occur, and then us all being scattered around each other, being programmed before we get in here, being recycled over and over again. And Aya was showing me this while she was healing me.
Hiding in plain sight.
Right, like she's like, I've been here the whole time with you. You've never not been with, we had to let you do that to do this, so we win. Right? Like, we win. We always, in the final, this is it. And I'm like, what does that mean? Right? Like, everyone always asks, what does that mean? It's the final. It's like, well, think of it as living a better life, being able to be a better creator, right? Not being restricted by a law that you break every 6 of them every time you get up, you make coffee, you do a few things, you go out to your car, you take off, all of a sudden you realize you broke a whole slew of laws you didn't even know existed. Right? Mm-hmm. All this weird stuff is going on. Like, it's free of all of that. Free of the restriction of being tied down by the debt system and the banking structure. I mean, she taught me all this stuff, and it's like I already knew, but it was like a new lesson. I don't know. It was the newest, oldest thing, right? It's the greatest story never told, always being told in every story, from Star Wars to the Trolls to Smurfs, right? Like, it's always in it. It's in everything. It unveils like a flower. You notice it. Look, the Matrix is obvious, right? We watched Sausage Party. Do you remember watching that? How at the end of the movie we were like, are you serious? It was, I'm not going to say what it is, but a complete connection to that. All right, the Black Panther, what does he do to get his superpower? He drinks the magical root of the purple herb that gives him the power to connect to Bass, the cat god, to give him superpowers. Oh, really? You drink ayahuasca, you just go meet that version of the energy, right? And then you connect to it and realize that it's part of you. It may have been something individually in the past, but we're all. That's a hard one for people to get, the all and all connected.
Mm-hmm. Right. It's vast, the vast intelligence system, but so, you're part of that network. Yeah.
Yeah. So she re-breaks open your technology, your skin suit, to allow the left and right brain to work as one brain. One object that can work as like a quantum, I don't know. It's just a hyper engine. I can't explain it. We're not using it correctly, but it's built to house the creator. It's not, they're using bodies that are housing other beings. This is what Aya has shown me. I've done a ton of ceremonies, and we've smoked DMT with people and mushrooms experiences, all kinds of different ceremonies, and we've seen all the different things. We've seen the reptilians like hiding their bodies and then just jumping out of their body, not needing ayahuasca, and going into your body and then trying to control you. Not you specifically, but and then they can get in a lot of times, and then as we're doing this, they can't get in. So then they build their own bodies, and those are the people that are guarding entrances to like weird areas. When we went down to the eclipse in South Carolina, it was like the people there were like, watch out for the lizard man, the men, and watch out for Bigfoot or a Sasquatch. And we were laughing. We were like, what, are you kidding me? And they were pretty, it was everywhere. Like this is their land as well. So when we went under, because naturally we did that while we were there, you can see like the beings are right there looking at you, but you're protected. You're under contract. But they're like, you're not staying a minute more, and you're not allowed out past here. And I'm going, the people that own the house right here and right next door are them in human bodies, and they don't know because we all have the amnesia.
Right, but that's why they're attracted to that area.
Right, and why they're allowed to have the home and property.
DNA.
So it's literally in your lineage and DNA.
Yeah.
Right, so they're building bodies and then putting consciousness in it. But now there's a whole bunch of beings doing this. I had one kid he said, please look at what's going on with me. And I said, I don't get involved. And he's like, please, I'm getting abducted. I know it. So I went and looked, like this one of the kids down the block, right? So there were ETs taking him out of the house. And then they were like, I saw that he was one of them. And then I was like, hey, what are you doing to my man? And they were like, hey, mind your business, right? Like, go back to your experiment where we're here with ours. And I'm like, yeah, don't be doing that to him. And then I shut up. And they were going, hey, listen, this is none of your business. And I go, oh, it doesn't look like it looks like you guys are literally in contract to do everything you're doing. He just has amnesia as the human. Right. So then to me, he reached out because he heard about me. Right. He saw me drive when he was driving in the street. He's like, yo, man, you got to check on me, bro. Man, I think I'm getting abducted. And he was. There was a ship right over his house. But it was he was one of them that decided for this life to project into the body. It was so odd to see that. And I had to stop. I had to be like, yo, man, sorry. I couldn't even say that you're one of them. I wasn't allowed to say anything.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, there's some secrets that you got to kind of have with certain things. And then, things you're allowed to tell in the story that's not breaking, someone's personal space and stuff. Right. I'm like, hey, it's easier to just say it's all real, right?
Yeah.
Paul is like, you got to have the Smurfs to have, to have this ET, to have Sasquatch. If you're going to, people are like, nope, UFOs are real, Bigfoot's fake. I'm like, you guys are really ridiculous.
Doesn't work that way.
I'm sitting with dogmen laughing at you as Sasquatch is looking at us with the ET, just laughing, going, wow, they're just stuck there. And I'm sitting there going, well, I'm the all, so you guys are all here for me. Like, that's the only way mentally I was able to deal with this. Because she's repairing me. So she's allowing, all right, so here's another thing. Old ways of thought break away.
Right.
They fall away like dead highways. That's what they look like. Superstructures that are no longer need to be there. then they're broken open and advanced into hyperlanes, and they intersect and cross where before you would never think that could even occur. And then the light just goes on, so there's no traveling of the thought. It's just on. So the thought is now. I don't know. Now is that moment of the moment. I can't. How do you explain that?
It's always now.
It's always now, but it's like that moment in that thought. Like it's a superior way. The body's supposed to be reacting, like evolving into the next stage is having. You're not limited to thinking left or right. You know, like Republican or Democrat, Coke or Pepsi. Like we're way beyond that stuff. Right, we're talking about connecting the whole thing and activating it. You say you only use 10% of your brain. Okay, let's use 50%. See what happens. Like, let's work towards that. Let's not work towards the 100% just yet, but just know we're headed there, right? And then all of a sudden you kick in, and let's say you're using 10% and you hit 12, right? You're repaired. You healed your past, your trauma.
I don't know if we could handle that.
Your PTSD. All right. Well, what's the next step? So check it out. I smoked one night with these gangsters, and I ran into the bedroom to talk to Paula because I had this amazing, there's a giant mirror here, and I had a halo break open the back of my head, and they called me the enlightened one, right? So I was like, what? And I go tell Paula, I'm gonna go tell Paula we're one of the enlightened ones, right? I kick the door open and go, Paula, guess what? And she's sitting on the bed eating popcorn, and I hear the crack on the back of her head, and it's just glowing. And I go, oh. And I go, we're the enlightened ones. She goes, I know. I go, why am I always the last one to find these things out? Why are you so calm? We have halos, and they crack open, and the next stage of evolution is this, that, and the other thing, right? You know, people want to turn into the light being, and that's where it goes. But we're going to take our physical bodies this round and move into a new position, a new dimension, a new frequency, because that's what a dimension is. It's a new frequency, a new vibration. So we're all agreed spiritually to be here for this moment. In time. In this now moment. While this occurs. So the AI and all that stuff, yeah, that's cool. Aya showed me all that. You know how to beat that? Lock it out of yourself. Deny it entry. Right. At certain levels where you have holes in your game. And when I mean that, be aware, and then you're responsible once you're aware, right? And then heal your past, your injuries, your PTSDs, whatever. Heal it, because once you remove it, you'll feel like Swiss cheese. And then all of a sudden it heals, and there's this light in us, and it's the most wonderful thing I've ever seen. Anything that's ever been removed through ayahuasca has just allowed me to add more light. Think about your cell can hold a certain amount of light, right? But if you purge the cell, like every so often, you clean it and you scrub it and you allow the toxins to come out of it, all of a sudden it holds 10 times more light. And then you see it get dirty again, and you're like, well, how'd that get dirty again? And then you scrub that again. All right, and then you keep doing that, and then it's 10 times each time, right? How fast does that multiply out? Like immediately, you're raging in this zone, and they're like, the whole idea is to just be in the zone. It's not try to be in the zone or you are the zone. Right. You're nothing less than the all. Once you get that part to your mind, even if it's hard to convince, you just tell yourself, I'm the all, man. Now this is the leap of faith. This is what's going down. You know, my will be done. I'm grounding myself to Mother Earth. Like Aya just grabs you and nature takes your back. The animals react to you. You know, our cats, my mother goes, he thinks the cats talk to him and understand him and whatever. She came here and sat here, and I started talking to them, and they just started jumping on me, coming right to me, going to her. She's like, wait, how are you doing that? Oh, wait, come here. You do this, you do that. And they weren't reacting to her right away the way she wanted to, so it was weird because she's more of a dog owner. And I was trying to show her, I'm like, no, you got to calm down and you got to hit that vibration and frequency, and they'll just react to you.
And then she did. She did. Remember?
And then, yes, and then she had
that.
She's like, oh, I love this one. This is mine. I go, see what happens? Now you understand. They understand us. And she's like, well, I never thought that a cat could do that. I'm like, any one of them. We had birds do that, cats. raccoons, just
Squirrels.
squirrels, skunks.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it's wild. We got our own little garden thing going over here. We don't understand it. We're like, at any time, any animal could just come to the window and downstairs and just stick its head in and go, hello. That's what's been showing up around here.
Yep.
But that's nature.
Hmm.
Like all different kinds of birds you wouldn't expect. But we're kind of near the Bronx Zoo. So I'm like, they can send to us anyone here. We have it all.
Yeah, they can send anyone we need.
Right? Like anything we need. You just, are you tuned into it? Is it? Do you remember your purpose? You know, what agreements are you here for? Have you removed those old contracts? Get rid of it. Old ways of thinking. Get rid of it. There's new things ahead, and it's beautiful for the individual and for the whole. To be overcoming technology is beyond what I ever saw. Like when you're doing things etherically with ayahuasca is one thing, and you overcome things. But to physically be standing there and then doing the etheric I can't explain how that worked. But I watched my energy distort and move. And in that moment, it must have been just a second. It felt like an eternity for me. And I was like breaking it down. I'm like, ooh, through my chest, this is going to come out and through my hands and stop it. And I'm like, it happened so fast and all that went down in that moment. And I couldn't even realize it till after that moment ended. And I was like, wow, wait a second. I had my own back. It was almost like my higher self was like, enough of this nonsense. We just needed to see what you can do.
Right.
We wanted to see how far you would take it. Now we know, and we're in the bubble with you. Have a nice day. And I'm like, wow, we can do that? And they're like, you're
never alone. You're
never alone. And guess what? Not only if you think that's all you can do, you're thinking wrong. The all is about to reveal itself in all of us.
Right.
You just have to choose to go take that.
To accept it.
Thank you. Yeah, to accept it.
Also, the training does come to mind. And once again, it's, being able to show people the path or show people the way. Obviously, ayahuasca is one of those passages where it does educate people. But also what you all do, too, as shamans and teachers, is showing them the passage and showing them how to empower themselves, which, of course, I appreciate. And I'm sure many others.
Thank you.
More than 50% of the people I work with don't drink ayahuasca, smoke DMT, or eat mushrooms at all. They all meditate, though, and we all meditate together. I don't.
Yeah.
It's not an ayahuasca thing. Ayahuasca, listen, Paula will tell you.
Oh, it's changed my life.
But it also is not for everyone.
No, not at all.
But everyone should do it, but everyone cannot do it.
Can't do it.
It's unfortunate. There's just people on medication they're not coming off it, and they're not. There's other things they can do, but I don't deal with any of that, and I'm not here for that. That's not my purpose. I'm not here to save the world. I'm here to wake a certain group that vibes to that frequency and vibration that comes through. The information is just to be heard. We're all right. You're talking about it. We're talking about it. Right. It's on the table. Every race, every culture, every kind, every being. This is all going to be revealed.
Exactly.
Your skin suit needs to activate. We got to stop with the products and the ingestions of all the different chemicals. It's not going to stop. They're not going to stop spraying us. They're not going to stop coming at us. They're not going to. That was one thing that was apparent until we hit a point that it stops. So they're like, it is going to stop. But you have to not think of a date. They hate when I'm like, when? Tell me when. They're like, soon. I'm like, yes, you guys are out of time. So soon to you could be 300 years. They're like, no, it's like a year. But that's all you're getting, Frank.
But the timeline's always changing.
Right. And they're like, we can't predict the way you guys think. But there is a breaking point where you just go to optimum timeline, and now you have to let it play out. Because we're in time.
Right.
And we're getting lighter going into new energy.
And we're also receiving assistance
from
everyone.
Paul, tell them how many.
It's an unlimited amount of beings.
I've never seen anything like this.
Coming here to Earth to assist in this timeline.
For all the dark beings that people like to focus on, like the AI and the reptilians, I'm not giving them any cred. Cute trick, nice. Every single little deception and distraction on this planet has been put here for the individual to get caught up in, right?
Absolutely.
Why? Because you're that important. That's how you trick the creator. You make him believe he's not the creator or
Mhm.
her.
Mm-hmm.
It's us. It's the I am we are. That's the only way to do it. And they got us to do it, but just to see that they can do it and how far it would go, and game over. That's how this works. And now we have our human suits that we have to transmute. By transmute, I mean just kind of evolve and kind of go with it. And Aya's showed me that. Like I went from knowing zero and just having paranormal experiences during my life to 100% gnosis flooding me all the time, and I can't focus.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And then all of a sudden, straightened right out. And I'm like, wow, look at that. And they're like, well, you put in the work. You earn in everything you do. It's your birthright. That's why I don't ask permission for stuff. And I just do good things. Paula does good things. We do what we do to live. You know, nobody's getting harmed with nothing. We're all doing good things and putting out good things and taking care of. We don't have children. We have cats. So we have children.
So true. Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's okay. You don't have to have kids. You have cats. A lot.
Several.
Yeah, but now look what you're doing though. Like things, it's not like a repayment, but it's like this causes this causes this.
Yeah, it's like a ripple effect.
Right? So you sitting with 12 kittens, right? Or 12 cats that love you and all running around you going, hey, we love you all day. You can choose to go, eh, or you can go, wow, this is amazing. Everyone's chilling with me. They love us. You know, they didn't ask to be here, but now they're here and they're proud to be here. And this new thing occurs. And all of a sudden you're like, wow, it's like you're building your own little starship of awesome. Right? And then that launches you into an evolution of consciousness. Right? Just having the cat purr. You can have one cat.
Right.
Just
Optimal
focus.
timeline.
Optimal timeline, baby. Here we go. You have the one cat that needs one owner. That's how this works. Everyone's where they're supposed to be.
For now.
You don't have to save every cat. I
For
can't
now.
save every person.
Where we're supposed to be for now.
Right.
Because we always have to live in now.
Yes. But if we're anchoring a grid, this is what I wanted to say. Everyone feels so alone in this, right? So we're all waking up. Think of it like this. Think of you secretly put you in the greater plan of things, in the exact place to anchor in the light. Right? Take away all religion from that statement that you might put there or focus on. Remove it. Beam of light from source energy, which is basically you anyway. You're anchoring that into a grid, and of course there's not going to be anyone right next to you for the moment. You are put there to shine in that spot, and from there it will grow, because there are others that are quite next to you. You just can't find them because you're not meant to yet, because we're not giving away the whole plan just quite yet, even though we're giving away the whole. At this point, it doesn't matter.
No one's given the whole piece of the plan.
But yeah, no one's given the whole piece. All I know is it's happening in a wave-like effect, and we're rising together, right? So they were showing me under Aya, once again, she's like, look, lights were just going off, like turning on. And I'm like, how are they going to stop that? They're like, one of you is too much for all of the darkness on this whole planet. One of you light beings activated, just one. And I'm like, well, that's so many. That's like 80% of the planet. And she's like, I know, right? I'm like, they don't stand a chance. And she's like, I know, right? And I'm like, Ma. And she's like, Frank. And Ma, Frank. Paula, they don't stand a chance. I know, Frank, have faith. I told you from the day I met you. So that's what we're going through here.
Yeah, well, it makes perfect sense to me.
Pretty much it.
You know, and for me, and I've always said this, it's like I go into the stadium and something presents itself, almost like a giant game of peekaboo.
Right.
Right? So, oh, you're real. And Paul's like, it's all real. And I'm like, oh, look, it's all real. Oh, look, it's you. Ooh.
Stop being surprised.
Yeah, I used to get surprised and jump out of my seat and freak out. My heart would stop. Now, all this stuff, drama. Now it just happens, and I'm like, hey, buddy, let me check it out. And I'll speaking a language that I won't even understand how it's coming out of my mouth, and this thing's looking at me like, oh, he knows who he is. And I'm basically saying, I'm the creator. You can't be here. Don't ever come back. That's the only warning you're getting. This is my space, and I have to do that because I was lacking the shielding.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. I had to learn how to do all that. I was like, why do I always get beat up? And they're like, yeah, you touch everything, don't you? That's what she told me. It's like, I don't let you too far out of my grasp, even though you think you're all the way off the leash. She goes, see how we just reeled you back in, and all of a sudden, ayahuasca.
You're a button pusher.
She's like, but damn, you touch everything. I'm like, it's the only way we learn. She's like, yeah, you're interesting, dude.
And Paula, you're funny. You're almost like an extension of Frank when you communicate with him.
You know, it's so funny because I feel like before I met Frank, like my ability, I guess, it was like the dial was turned all the way down. And then when I met Frank, it's like someone turned that dial all the way up, and we just, it's like this combination. I can't explain it.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it was like the most beautiful unlocking thing that you were drawn to like a magnet, right? But you could hold space for so long, that energy. Like conversations could go on for an hour, but then you're going to sleep for 3 hours. Like that, your mind can't take it any further. My buddy Josh, he would explain coming here to being next to Paula and I. It started with an hour, and he could only do an hour. And then it was him sleeping over, and then us all hanging out, holding that space the whole time. Right? Like everyone else is going, hey, you like the Jets this week or Denver? Who do you like? I'm like, I don't watch football. I gave my whole early life to sports and everything. It doesn't matter. This is important right now. My purpose has arrived. I'm filled with that purpose and that spirit. I don't have time for nonsense. And if I do, I have my own set of distractions. I love superheroes. So for me, it's a whole, you know, and I do the hip hop and music, and I do everything.
Yeah, awesome music too, by the way.
Many hats.
Yeah,
Thank
you do.
So much.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's music.
I appreciate these experiences and these moments we have together. It's so important to know. See, for me, it's not a competition. That's why I'm not overly out there. It's not a business model for me, even though that's kind of floating in the background. But it's not, though. It's the weirdest thing. I was told, look, you just tell the story as it is. You don't have to embellish a single word. It's already going to sound crazy enough, but those that are opening are going to understand.
They'll hear what they need to hear.
They'll hear what they need to hear, and they'll hear your frequency. So the sound your mouth makes, and when air comes pushing out of your face, right? And I'm like, they showed it to me, and I was like, oh, so it's like a true vibration. So it rings true.
Rings true.
Where it needs to. So from wherever your perception level is, it'll just hit and ring where it needs to.
So true. Yes, frequency. Absolutely. And both of you have that real high frequency. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, thank you.
I thought Paula was faking it when I first met her. I go, you're joking, right? And she was like, I don't know what you're talking about. It was a movie moment because I went at her. I was like, I know you're being phony, right? You're joking. You're being sarcastic or whatever they call it.
You're faking it. You're faking this whole thing.
This is a joke, right? Like I almost wanted to say she was like an AI functionable robot put in to only be a certain way, which was unbelievable. She wasn't being a certain way. She was being unbelievable, incredible, hyper expansive. Animals were responding to her and things I've never seen. It was just so weird. So I was like, this has to be fake. No one's this nice. And she's like, no, I'm just being me.
and then he got attacked in the basement by a...
Yeah. When we're separate,
non-human entity.
They used to try to draw us apart because apart they were able to just ransack me, and it's happened on numerous. Not anymore as much.
No. This was like almost 5 years ago. He got attacked in my basement by this.
Once again, paranormal. Turning into
non-human entity.
And then you seeing it live, like what is this? And it revealing itself to you, and you going, oh no, and it beating you at your little like. All right, so you come back, you feel a little invincible, right? Like, oh, I'm a shaman. Oh, I got rid of my own demon. Blah, blah, blah. And then the next thing shows up. Right. And it's completely different. You have to come in it completely different.
Yeah, well, my cat came to your aid first.
That was the first time I saw an animal. Your Oscar ran to my forehead and was looking. This is how I know that I'm like not the only witness.
But this
It's
is
not
how,
like just an etheric thing.
but this is how I prove to you that like this is for real.
And the other one sat at my crown chakra, but at one point they were both going back and forth and back and forth. And Oscar looked like he was doing this dance because the thing that was attacking me couldn't actually touch me because of what they were doing. And I was just frozen in fear while everything started to come out into play. It took a moment for it to start, but I had to stop shaking in the moment and get a hold of myself, because it appeared as a wolf to me that was gigantic with yellow eyes. And then I fell to the floor in fear. It was something I've never been scared like that. And then I was holding my heart, and then I said, "Oh, this isn't real. This is a trick." And then Oscar showed up, and I'm like, "Oh, help!" Like, and then everything went into play. It was crazy. But then after it was over, that thing wanted nothing to do with any of us. So it was there prior to me being there.
Yeah, and it was forever gone.
I was like, I said, a soul, this is how I explained it at the time, a spirit in the house that's nice.
Oh, yeah.
That's deathly afraid of this other thing that's creeping around.
And it's funny.
And I haven't caught it yet, but I can see that it's floating.
Yeah, and it's funny because before you started coming to the house, my stand freezer was down there. So anytime I had to go down there to get meat, I would make Oscar, my cat, come with me. I'm like, "Come on, Oscar, I got to go down to the freezer." And he'd be like, "Okay." And then he'd come with me because I was always afraid to go down there alone. And you know, Frank can tell you, I'm not really afraid of many things, but that one got me. And then pretty much after that night, I was
said
good.
To me, "I got you alone." And I was like, "What?" And then when I looked up, I couldn't believe what I was looking at. It looked like a dark mist turned into a wolf, but like it was on all fours.
Strange.
And then it growled and drooled, and it seemed realer. Like the closer the more I focused on it, the realer it got. But I've never seen this before because I wasn't on ayahuasca. I was down in the basement. I'm like, this is like this happens. I remember going to ayahuasca, screaming at her, "Mother, I need to talk to you." "What is it? When did this become Ghostbusters?" And she was like, "Oh yeah, you're going through that." And then I remember going, "Wait, when did this become The Exorcist?" Because we had a demon jump out, and it like threw me around the room in front of everyone. And I'm like, "Well, that's uncomfortable. I didn't even know that existed."
Yeah, but then all of those etheric animals came for you.
I had help from every direction. I've had help, like I said,
every
in the beginning,
step of the way.
It was all Egyptian. Then it became all
every
Indian,
step of the way.
And then it became angelic, and then it became cats, the AI system that's bad, the AI system that's good, what you can do, what you are. It's all about you, cats, more cats, right? And then cat beings, I've had them here. I've had versions of myself show up to me to be like, "Dude, you got to kind of man up right at this moment." And it's almost like as time slows while you're crying out to the universe going, "Where is everyone to help me?" Right? And they're like, "Dude, hang in there 1 second." And then one of them will jump onto you. And then you'll just remember, "Oh, I was this lion being in this place. And I'm not scared of this thing." And then it all stops. It literally just stops. It's like you conquer that frequency and you just hit the next one and it can't reach you. I've disappeared in front of them by leaving my body still right in front of them. I said, "You guys can't leave into 5th frequency, can you? 6th frequency. Use like rule 4 with the AI, the reptilians and the grays and the whatevers. You guys are rolling, but only in 4D. You can't go into 5 and 6. You can't go up there with your nefarious deeds. You have to be like service to others and stuff. You can't go up there." So they were laughing at me. And then I just went and then was standing over them, and it looked like a glass. And they were like, "Where'd he go?" And my body was still with them. And it was acting as like its own thing as I was viewing it. And I'm going, "Come on, guys, you can't see me." And they were like, "Where did he go? Right. We are the masters of this domain." And I'm like, check this out. If you're the master of 1 through 4, I'm from 15, so that's going to stop now. whatever it is you're doing, because that just happens. My higher self makes that come out of me. Like, believe. You must believe. You must have faith. And then, boom, I'm hit with it. And I'm like, oh. And then I'll hear, as I'm getting attacked by things, Paula saying, like, hold on. Just have faith. I'm right here. You can't be hurt. Da, 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 da. And those things bring me out. I've been reconstructed on the other side. And the last thing I remember is Paula. And the first thing I remember again is that I have Paul. I'm like, wait a second. Who am I? I have no clue. What's happening, Paula? And then I know nothing. And then I come back and I go, I don't even know what's happening, who I am. Paula. No, I have a Paula. And then, boom, it's me, Frank. You know, and it comes back out. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. So you're my first and last thought.
I feel the same way.
But there's a reason for that. There's a higher definition for that.
I think that's why we sleep in shifts like that.
Well, we were
still
abducted.
Do?
Yeah.
Off and on, but it's been on now for a couple of months now. Just sleeping in shifts. It's horrible. And
there was like waves of attacks, and then it stopped. It never.
Oh, the lights just
we had waves of it, and then when the cats got here, it was like it's the funniest thing. It's like when there's a baby that's cooing or kittens running around, and you hear the pitter patter, and they're all over everything, but they're not making a mess, and they're so cute, like all the good stuff. You know, they still smell like babies, right? That does something to you as a human being if you're down with that, right? Like it's almost like you're sending the cats to you from the other side. It's like release them to them, allow it. And then you get in a state of mind of something else. Like, I don't have time for these reptilians because you can't, I dare I say, like, you can't touch me. I'm too high up. Right. But then you get back into everyday life again, and everybody kind of melds into their things. And it's how you react to things. Things are always there. They've never not been there. How do you choose to react to them is what Aya helps you perceive.
Navigate through.
You can do that on your own. Just love you and meditate and do the right thing for you. Be aware. Once you're aware, you're responsible. Just understand that if you see something and you see that no one else can see that, and you're like, yo, I can do something if I move right now. If you choose not to move, it's your choice. You don't have to. It's free will. But know if it goes down, I could have helped. Or I could have done that. I could have saved that from happening. I could have caught the baby that fell off the escalator or something. We've all seen the videos. You could choose not to do that, or you could choose to do it. Your awareness defines your responsibility to it. And if you take that responsibility, something beautiful happens. It's something extra. It's like out of your comfort zone, this thing exists.
It is. It's a beautiful life.
Paula says it all the time so simply, but she's right. 100%. The story's fantastic, but guess what? You live a beautiful life. You want to wake up next to each other every day. You live to be like, hey, what's up? It's great to see you. Never, get out of here.
Nice. Well, that's the way it's supposed to be.
Well, yeah, all right. We all hear about that, and then we hear people and their theories once they're married, and it flies off the rail, and think crazy things happen, right? It's like, look. You don't need nobody's permission. You just do your thing. It's cool if you go with the classics. It's cool, but just let someone live. Don't be in control, right? Just be there. Love and kind of direct the flow of the river a little bit, so to where you want to be. Don't throw your anchor in the river, especially in flowing water. It's not what you're supposed to do ever. Right? It's not, you don't stand there and just let the waves hit you one after another after another. You're just taking it on the chin. Right? You're supposed to go out there, find the pattern, and then ride it back. That's how you stay safe, and that's why it's fun. It's like, oh, fun but scary. Yeah, because you figured it out. Right? Has above, so below. You know? So we're here riding that wave. Okay, so you want that fairy tale life? What are you willing to do? Right? We could both give you stories of having everything. I was on stage with everyone. I was like, yo, I made it to the top. Oh, this is great. And I hated it. Everyone disliked me. It was right after I drank Aya and had that experience. They were like, oh, get out of here. But they were like, yo, they kept me there. They were like, you're hired. You're doing awesome. but they didn't like me personally.
Right.
It was like I wasn't gangsta like that or something. And I'm like, but everyone hates each other. I love you guys. Like, I grew up loving everyone here. And they're like, yeah, we don't like you. Shut up. So I was like, kind of took my ball and went home. I was like, I don't want to be here. But I did it. And then I was like, realized I don't need that no more. So we had I had my massive job. Paula had her
corporate job.
She had a house.
I had a house.
Now we have a 1-bedroom apartment and cats. And people want from all over the world come rolling on us, want to come here or want us to come there.
Come visit, yeah. It's wonderful.
So that those connections could be made, and it's one of the most beautiful things.
It really is. It truly is.
We laugh, like she says, our family, they don't even react to any of this stuff.
No.
But we have this other family.
Yeah, and they're scattered all across the world.
And they understand.
Yeah.
So we were laughing, and I'm like, no, we can't expect them to understand. We're the example for them. Like, we're all living in our own little universes, but we're part of people's
Christmas is
universes.
coming. Let's hide the conversation.
Yeah.
All we could talk about are the cats.
Yeah. Don't get him started. He'll immediately say Joe Rogan DMT. Like, he'll just go off the wall, and it's like, dude, you don't even know me. You just think that's what I would do, right?
We have to start baking cookies.
All
tomorrow.
The kids run up to me and talk to me. Do you think I grab the kids and go, oh yeah, let's smoke DMT, kids? I don't do anything like that. I ask them how the Avengers are, what video games they like. We talk for whatever, and they forget that side. They right away fear. It's almost like. They
love the cats. Yeah, they love coming here to see the cats.
Yeah, like the attachments in the people that the kids don't quite have yet get scared of you and I.
Yeah, it's weird.
My sister goes, I had a picture of you in my head with Paula standing over a giant pot, just throwing animal parts and a pinch of spider legs and a thing of this, and then stirring this big pot. I'm like, yeah, that's nothing of what we do at all.
No.
That's terrible that you would even think that. That's from a cartoon. I know exactly what you're talking about, and that's terrible. And they're like, well, that's what you do, right? And you have cats. And I'm like, oh, what? You get a friggin' pet, and then all of a sudden everyone thinks you're crazy. Just for having the cat.
Yeah, several. Okay.
No, well, it started with, what it is. Oh,
yeah.
Here's another thing. So I was able, with these experiences, so this just boosts the technology. It allows me to break through because I could not, you'll have people that go, I've been doing this 30 years, no ayahuasca, you're kind of cheating. It's like, dude, you've been up for 30 years. I'm not. I was complete other side of the coin for my whole life, and then 5 years broken free. So I need that. Right, like we're all in the place that we need to be. So I'm not shoveling it with everyone else. I'm not I'm not trying to sell the movie just yet. It's already gonna play. Like, I know it's coming. Right? Let it play. Let us grasp it and do it. Right? Like, it's in everything too now. I see it in every movie. All the kids' movies. We have the Disney app, and it's in every movie they have. Every Pixar movie, every Star Wars episode. I'm like, damn, it's literally in all of our stuff. Or has it always been there and I'm just noticing it now?
No, I think it's definitely in the air now.
Listen.
It's like Bitcoin. It comes and goes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Remember Doctor Strange? People were like, you sure Frank didn't watch? I'm like, we've been talking about this for 4 years, right? And then they went and saw Doctor Strange, and they go, that sounds like what you were talking about. I'm like, yeah, I told you that years ago. I didn't tell you last week, right? Right? Like, if they wrote the movie about what we're doing, because the writers of the movie couldn't translate it, right? There's like a whole story to this. And they go to a mushroom shaman, and the mushroom shaman puts them under for 30 days, and they write Doctor Strange. Yeah. That's why it looks the way it does. The teacher was teaching them, because it was goofy otherwise. They didn't want it goofy. They wanted it as close to real life as possible. So when he gets knocked out of his body and he's like, whoa, and he flies through the tunnel, just go pull up my interview with Chris right after what happened with me smoking DMT. And that was way before any Marvel movie with Doctor Strange. Nothing. There was nothing there. And you'll go, I don't believe this. Wait a second. What's going on here? I'm like, that's the truth. That's what happens. It's the reality. It's not Frank. It's just Frank's telling the story because he has the microphone tonight. You can tell your story as soon as you're ready to tell it.
Right.
Then if it's your job to tell it, then you tell it. If not, you listen to it, take with it what you want. I'm not forcing nothing on nobody. right? I can't guarantee nothing. You have to save yourself at this point, right? I can only hold space for you. I could give you like the cojones, as they say, to like stand in your own space and tell everything not you, bounce. Everything that you don't need needs to go, right?
Exactly. And you know what? I know you're doing some work on the videos. You're still doing the videos, right, with the meditation groups with Fearless?
Oh yeah, we never stopped. I slowed up a little bit.
Excellent. So if somebody wants to join that, somebody here who's listening, how do they do that?
Okay, the Fearless Family, it's in Facebook groups.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Fearless Family. Okay, everyone always clicks join, right? You got to answer the question. I can't let you in. You got to tell me why you come to the group. You'll see it there. And then I let you in, and there's about 400, over 400 now. I keep the group small. There's a lot of things. If you can't answer a simple question, right, it's not the right place for you. One of the things Aya taught me, and she keeps telling me about this faith, have faith, have faith. I would take your 300 that devote themselves. We're not devotees. Like, I live a life. I have the best time all the time, right? I just right now I have a head cold, but I have cats that love me and people that need me, and during good times and bad times, I'm in the optimum timeline that I could be in. This is a great time to be alive, right? It's difficult, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Right.
Would you go? All right, Paul, would you go back? Didn't we talk about this before?
No, I would not go back. I would not go back even 30 days.
Right. So, okay. So she said, Aya told me, I will take 300 people with that train of thought over 300,000. And that she was making the reference like, yo, you don't need a lot to do this. Mm-hmm. Right? And we could get into semantics all day about how many points of light go off before the 100-monkey effect works on the entire planet. Listen, don't wait for any said event. You are the event, right? So you change you inside. People don't want to do this, but
it's the best.
You want the event to occur. You want the solar flash to happen within 6 months. Get a whole bunch of people to believe in themselves and to love themselves and to do something really nice. Be service to themselves and be like, man, I love myself. And then service to others and be like, you know what, I love you too. And recognize that connection and just live a good life. You don't have bring it to you by using that higher vibrational energy. You don't have to have everyone aware of the event and the solar flash. That's not necessary. You want a higher vibration and frequency going on, not an awareness that something could pop out of the sun and flash everyone. Like, let's not be whatever, because then it gets into religions and all kinds of crazy stuff. But people are like waiting on hand and foot for these things. And I'm like, if you want that, fix yourself.
True.
Because if you can't handle, let's say spiders, people have irrational fears of like little things sometimes. I had them of deer and sharks and weird stuff. It's like, oh, you want aliens? You can't handle a deer, Frank. I was afraid of deer. So then I had to get over that fear. Then I had to get over a fear of sharks. But the deer thing was irrational because I was playing with pit bulls all the time. I was like sticking my head in their mouths and tackling them and going crazy. And Aya was like, are you nuts? That pit bull will tear your head off. When was the last time you saw a shark? You're from the Bronx, right? So I was like, I've never seen a shark, actually. And she was like, okay. And then she's like, you're afraid of the water and the unknown, floating in the dimension. And then I had to witness every shark and go, no, I'm not afraid of that. But I had to go through it to say I'm not scared of that, to stand in no fear.
Right.
It was the weirdest stuff. And then the animals react differently each time I do something like that.
Right.
But those irrational fears are what's kind of clogging up the dimensions, right? So you want aliens, but you can't, right? You're like, you look at a possum and you're like, ew, right? Like, you want to just murder all the insects.
Anything like, different than you.
Yeah, look at that thing. Ew, kill it. Kill it, stomp its face. Oh, but you want an alien to come here and talk to you?
Right.
Are you absolutely, can your chest, your heart, handle a higher vibrational being walking in? Okay, so Solaris, let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. What's too much? This is what I always ask people. What's too much? Because to someone that's seen nothing, everything is frightening, right? So is an angel too much? Or is it a reptilian? Is it a dinosaur? Is it a mushroom with eyes? Is it a Smurf? Is it a Fraggle? Is it Chewbacca? What do you need? Right? What's too
Yeah.
much? Because you're going to see something and go, well, the tree's alive and the tree just spoke to me and now I have to go purge. I'm frightened to my core that that's there.
Well, they better prepare. Just calibrate. To me, nothing's too much. Nothing's too much.
Oh, so fairies? I always get this. So fairies, Frank. And I'm like, yeah, I've seen them. I've interacted with them. So you're gonna mark my whole whatever you think my career is based on fairies. I'll be the first one to stand in line and say it's all real. Oh, and by the way, I'm the all. And oh, by the way, so are you. So you're just letting yourself down at that point, saying like one exists and one doesn't. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Distraction. It's all energy. It's all constructs of energy anyway.
It's a distraction. So if we level the playing field a little bit, that's what Aya is. It's leveling it. I would have no gnosis of this 5-6 years ago.
Right.
Nothing. I'd be like, yo, I saw a ghost. I think I saw a UFO. Right? Like I had no clue. None. I told Paul where I come from. The original truth movement before them, 10 years, well, 97, right? When you didn't need a name for anything. You could just kind of do it coming out of that into a truth movement. And everyone was like 9/11 was an inside job. Alex Jones kind of woke me a little bit and all my friends got into him. And then I walked away from that really quick after it just shook me to my core constantly. I'm like, I don't like feeling like this. I feel terrible into all these next stages. And then here we are today.
Yeah, that's like you just got shot out of a cannon, energetically speaking. Yep. There's no doubt about it. And you've been together for 5-6 years? How many years?
It's going to be 5 years.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah.
We met the day before Easter.
5 years ago.
5 years ago.
we just use the day before Easter every year.
We went out. It was so odd the way we met, but not.
That's funny. Yeah. Well, you're a perfect pair. There's no doubt about that.
Oh,
we're almost wrapping up this show. I'm sorry I haven't asked that much questions, but I wanted to just hear you communicate. I mean, you have some wonderful information to share with our audience, and I know they were benefiting.
You.
I appreciate every single one of them, and thank you so much for having us.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Oh my gosh, it's a pleasure. And also, make sure you let everybody know how to reach out to both of you, and also anything you want to share right now. Make sure you let everybody know before we hit a break here.
Okay.
Websites and all that good stuff. Radio show, how to listen, and your fabulous show.
You can check us out Saturday nights, 9 p.m. on YouTube. Frank Castle Fearless. We're doing the video show now. Volume 2, but you could check Volume 1 is there as well. We have everything Frank Castle Fearless on YouTube, and then IamWeAreFearless.com for any of the designs on clothing and apparel, blankets, shoes, socks. We pretty much have everything there, and it's just awesome. All revolves around the psychedelic experience.
I love it. I have my beautiful coffee cups and all sorts of cool stuff I bought over there. I love it.
Thank you so much. I
love it. Yeah, you're fantastic, no doubt. I know I'd love to have you back at some point, and we'll discuss more detail if you like. You're always welcome back, and also on Hyperspace if you feel guided to be there.
Absolutely.
Open
Fantastic.
Invitation. Yeah,
thank you. No doubt. Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. What would you like to leave everybody with tonight? Anything? I know you're very empowering, both of you. Is there anything you want to just leave the listeners with?
Just live in the now. If you're not happy, change it tomorrow. You wake up in the morning, you have a clean slate. Just live in the now.
Absolutely.
You are the all, and breathe deep and ground yourself, and then breathe more. You'll be fine. Perfect. Beautiful. That's awesome. And I do want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Thanks to everybody in the chat room and the questions. Also, stay tuned for Shiny Side Out with David Dunger and Becky coming up next to sell you on tonight from Down Under with their incredible show. I believe they're talking about Hypothesis and the Epiphany, Part 3. That should be very interesting, no doubt. And I just want to say thank you again. I love you guys so much. You're wonderful, wonderful beings and very inspiring to those who are seeking illumination. So thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I love you so much. I love you too. All right, everybody. I'm going to sign out of here so we can get Shiny Side Out to jump on board here. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend. Till next time.
Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com, and we'll be right back after this message. Is your data safe? Do you have the necessary information to assist you in confidently living through just about any survival situation? Is survival and gardening, off-grid living, medical knowledge, or even natural or man-made EMPs on your list of personal concerns? Do you have your documents and your personal information in a safe place in your hands where you know where it is? Well, check out our preloaded EMP-proof thumb drive. Over 3 gigs of survival documents and how-tos, plus the USDA offline food preservation website, and much, much more, including a surprise bonus we just can't tell you about here. With plenty of room left over to store your most important documents. Imagine if a megavirus or a computer failure took out your bank, or all the banks for that matter. Are your banking records safe in your hands? So when they get things fixed and repaired, you can say, hey, look, this is what I had. You have it. I want it back. Is your personal data safe? Family records, addresses, phone numbers? Well, squeeze on over to freedomslips.com. Yes, that's www.freedomslips.com. Click the banner on the homepage for the EMP-proof bullet drive to get the full scoop of everything that we offer. So, folks, keep your data safe for your peace of mind. Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. You don't need to expect us. We're already here.
This is the people's war. It is our war. We are the fighters. Fight it then. Fight it with all that is in us. And may God defend the right.
Warning! Warning!
We gotta stop them! They're gonna kill us all! See how the trouble you've started? Be they the government, be they industry, be they organized labor, be they anyone, or human beings. Time when the operation of the machine becomes so odious, makes you so sick at heart that you can't take part. You can't even passively take part. And you've got to put your bodies upon the gears and upon the wheels, upon the levers, upon all the apparatus, and you've got to make it stop. And you've got to indicate to the people who run it, to the people who own it, that unless you're free, the machine will be prevented from working at all.
Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com, the #1 listener-supported talk radio station, throwing ourselves upon the gears of